Okay, so ladies and gentlemen, we are going to work on line patterns today. Now, a line pattern is when you take your lines and you repeat them. So it starts to create a pattern. So if you look down here at this bottom one, I have a lot of lines, but it creates a pattern. So I have a long horizontal line, then I have a lot of small horizontal lines, a long horizontal line, a bunch of small ones, a long horizontal line. Now, if I want that pattern to continue, I would continue to make those short lines and then that long line. All right, so that is a repeated pattern. And so we are going to do that today. I'm just going to use some examples of the lines that we've learned. You do not have to do what I do. I'm just here to show you how to start making some of these patterns work. So I'm going to use the straight line today, the wavy line, the curved line, and the swirl line. I'm also going to introduce us to some new terms because I want your paper to face a certain way. So today I'm going to introduce you to the sleeping paper. All right, so when I say put your paper in sleeping position, that means that I want your long side, to be on the side that's closest to you when you sit at the table. So your paper is sleeping. When I want you to put your paper the other way, I want you to make it so it's standing. Now a standing paper, and I can even draw like a stick figure right here. So maybe a little boy down here throwing that basketball as much as he possibly can. This person is standing. All right, so when you're standing up, you're standing nice and tall. So I want the short side of your paper to be the closest to you when you're sitting at your table getting ready to make art. Okay, so today you are going to need a couple sheets of paper. I like to use scrap paper. So I tend to use paper a lot in my classroom that has one side written on it and then the other side is blank. I like to do that all the time just because paper comes from trees and trees are our really good friends, and I don't want to waste a lot of paper. So I'm going to try to recycle as much as I possibly can in my classroom. I like to reuse things as much as I possibly can. Okay, so when you make your lines today, you can either make your lines with crayons or you can make your lines with markers or you can use colored pencils. It all depends on what you want to do. All right, so a line pattern is simply a line that is repeated over and over and over again. And you can put different things in your line pattern to make it more of a picture, more of a pattern. All right, so I'm going to start off first with a curved line. Again, you do not have to do what I do. Please, I am just using this as an example. So I'm just going to make a curved line. And I'm doing this curved line over and over and over again. So it's kind of like a bounce. Then underneath it, I think I'm going to do a zigzag line. Okay. Then I think I might do a wavy line. And I'm just going all the way from one side of my paper to the other side of the paper. And I think I like that wavy line so much, I'm going to do it in another color. I think I want pink. I'm going to get out my pink marker. And I'm just going to go ahead and make this nice little line. Now, this is a beautiful design. In order for it to become a pattern, you have to repeat it. So you can repeat one line if you want to. You can repeat all of it if you want to. So I'm going to work on my line pattern again. And I'm just going to go ahead and I'm going to do that nice curved line. What do you think is next in my line pattern? That's right, the zigzag. Okay, and then I'm going to finish up by making my purple wavy line. And then my pink wavy line. So now I've got 1, 2. Let's see if I have room for a 3. I don't think I'm going to get through all of it because I think I made my lines too big. So again, just look what I'm doing. All I'm doing is I'm looking at what I did before and I'm just doing it again. And this time my wavy line is really tiny so I can fit that. Okay. And that's all. Now I might also have some room at the top, so I can go ahead and maybe I can do that at the very top of my paper. That kind of helps. That's all I'm doing. A line repeated pattern is just using your lines over and over and over again. All right, so I'm going to put this paper away. Now I think what I'm going to do is I'm kind of liking this. So I think what I might do is I might try to do some lines, maybe the loop or the curly line. So I might do some really nice, beautiful loops. And I'm going all the way across my paper, trying to make them the same size. That's another thing about the pattern is that you want your line to be the same. Okay, so this one I made it green and I made it nice and big. Now I can go ahead and I can do some loops again. This time I'm doing some loops and they're really small. Now I think I'm going to go back to the green loop again. And I'm just going to work on making those loops nice and big. And you know what is really amazing about this is as you learn how to draw, as you learn how to make these line patterns, you're learning how to hold your pencil. And this is going to help you when you start learning how to write. So it's all connected. That's why art is so incredibly important. Okay, so I'm doing those small loops. And you can sing, you can hum while you're making your art. You can listen to music as you're making your art. It's all up to you. The only thing is that I want you to try to do it on your own, learning from all the different lines that you've been looking at. Okay, so this is a line repeated pattern. All right, so using that information, I am going to stop the video and I want you to keep your paper sleeping. Remember, your paper is sleeping. Keep your paper sleeping. Look at the lines that you've been learning and see if you can make some different patterns. So I might do a swirl, dot, swirl, dot, swirl, dot. What do you think is going to come next? I can also change my colors too, right? So I'm going to hit stop on your video, and I want you to try to think of some different line patterns, and you're just going across the paper, and you're going to make one line here, one pattern here, and then you're going to make another one. You can do the same or you can do different. It's up to you, but I just want you to go from one side of your paper to the other side of the paper. All right, thank you.